1, 2, 3, tuning into what's hot like a cup of tea. The Burp is live, it's time to feast with BLT icon bringing you the heat. Static on the dial and the crackle in the air, feeling like a rebel in the days wear and tear. The BLT icon's pouring out the noise, tuning into the Burp with the glitch and poise. Let's go! Banter mixed with a dash of wild, keep your brainwaves swilling, keep your thoughts unfiled. Nothing is too strange, no tale is taboo. Catch up with the icons, there's always something new. Hot takes cooler than a summer breeze, hidden gems uncovered with the greatest ease. Let us take the stage and give an introduction. This is the Burp by the
Hi. Sad day. I want to reach out to everyone. The Burp is reaching out to everyone. Is everybody okay?
I'm not ugly crying.
Is everybody okay? I feel like part of me is now missing, broken. So on behalf of the Burp and everybody here, how are you? Are you okay? Billy, are you okay?
Been better, dudes. Been better.
Been better. Luca, I know you were ugly crying before.
You know, things did get a little fuzzy towards the fourth quarter, so at least I had that going for me. But I'm getting used to this.
It's never easy getting used to the hurt. It seems like it's all we've felt for the last 14 years. I'm a little torn up, trying to hide it as best I can. I need to just give me a second. Oh man. You know what?
Niners. It wasn't the Niners this time. Thank goodness.
It wasn't the Niners. Why did it have to be the Phillies or the Eagles? I mean, 4th and 26 wasn't enough.
Right. I gotta shake this off.
So anyway, hey everybody, welcome back to the Burp. It is episode 5. It is Packers 2024-2025 season recap.
We back.
It's T West, it's Bildo, it's Luca. We are back again, episode 5. We are going to be talking everything today about the Green Bay Packers. Talking about that playoff game. Wow. If you want to talk about just like laying an egg, I think that's what I come up with. So we're going to talk about the Packers playoff game. We're going to talk about what went right in 2024, what went wrong in 2024. We're going to talk about some of the improvements that we saw. One of the things that I'm going to talk a little bit about is the improvements between last year and this year, seeing how we got better. But we're each going to give our 3 things I think that we noticed in that area of like what went better for us, what went worse. And then we're going to talk about what are our expectations for this offseason. What are we going to do? What do we think we're going to do in free agency? What do we think we're going to do in the draft? We are out of salary cap hell finally. So, yeah, we got some big guys in last year with Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney. What do we see happening this offseason? There's a lot of rumors swirling around right now from what Josh Jacobs said. Is it Max Crosby? Devontae Adams went on there talking about how maybe the Packers need some veteran wide receiver help. Is that him? I don't know. Either way, though, we still get to talk about the Packers for at least one more day here. So join us, shall you? It's going to be a fun-filled Packers season recap episode. So, welcome back to the Burp, episode 5. Let's start it off. What are we drinking, fellas? Luca, what you got today?
Well, I'm on a diet now, going with Michelob Ultra. One less calorie than Miller Lite, I guess.
One less calorie equals one more beer. Bildo, what are you drinking, sir?
You guys are gonna give me a lot of flack for this, but you know what? I don't care. You hate me because you ain't me. I have a diet Dr. Pepper.
What?
Yep.
Okay.
Staying away from the sugar. Needed a little bit of carbonation in my life. I'm a little tired today, so that's what it is.
I honestly thought we were going to be tasting the Rockies again, so you got me.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. Not giving up on Vin Diesel. So here's another Corona. One of these days, right? Like he's going to get wind of like this fat guy in Wisconsin wants to hang out with him for a beer, and it's going to be magical. So, and then we'll maybe drive a Dodge Charger around. And anyway, moving on. So First things first. Let's talk about what the hell happened.
What the hell happened here?
With the Packers and the Eagles in the NFC wildcard round. Billy, I kind of want to toss this up to you first. Give me some of your thoughts about what happened in that game.
I think you said it best. They laid an egg. They didn't come prepared. I don't think they didn't have a good game. It was a boring ass game too to watch. I was just like, man, it was not fun. So, like I said last episode, I figured they were going to lose anyway. So my expectations were already there. I already accepted it, but yeah,
Okay.
bummer of a game.
Yeah, definitely a bummer of a game for sure. Luca, what do you got for us? What are your thoughts on what happened in that NFC wildcard game?
Well, I think we got hosed from the start with that opening kickoff. I mean, you're not even going to go and review it properly to see that, hey, Packers had the ball in their hand after the fumble. And I think the overall outlook of the game after that was just trash. We started off with a couple penalties. We had some injuries that hurt us, and then we got even more penalties. We did not look good at all. And when we did move the ball, it just didn't look like we established the run first. We were a little bit trying to mix up plays, and it just didn't look like Green Bay Packer football.
Agree 100%. Both of you guys make some really great points here. One of the things that I kind of want to talk about, we talked a little earlier too, is, Keyshawn Nixon, that whole starting the game off that way where we lose the ball. One, hold on to the ball, right? Like, we don't want it to have to come down to the referees screwing up another call, whether it's whether it's the Hail Mary, all these other things that seem to happen. I don't want to depend on the refs. Let's just beat the other team outright. Our defense had no takeaways, right? Like, we did not take the ball away from the Philadelphia Eagles. If you lose the turnover battle, especially in our case, we lost 4-0, right? Like 3 interceptions and then a fumble on the kickoff. You're not going to win a football game, especially in the NFL. One of the things that I think that really got me in this game was seeing how depleted we were at the offensive line. You lost Josh Myers. You lost Elgin Jenkins. Elgin Jenkins, an All-Pro a couple years ago, but whoever the two guys were that you brought in behind him, those 4 holding penalties with the two of them, 3 on the first guy that came in and then 1 on
Glover,
the second. So,
3 alone.
Right. Thank you, Glover. Yes.
And he's only had like 3 snaps the whole entire season. That's what we had to throw on in. That hurts us right there.
Right. And especially against just a bunch of behemoths that the Philadelphia Eagles have. Like, everybody's like 6'5" and 330 pounds. It's like, wow. It's offensive and defensive line. They've obviously put some time into their line. I do think the better team won that football game, unfortunately. But that's just my takeaway, because a lot of the things that we saw are things that we can address in the future. So anyone have anything else they want to add to the NFC wild card game? Packers, Eagles, what do you got? Go.
I'll add something. I knew it was downhill because right when the game started, I had a kid at my door selling Girl Scout cookies. By the time I bought 2 boxes of tag-alongs, wrote my name on the sheet, signed up for it. By the time I got back to my living room, Keyshawn Nixon already had fumbled the ball.
Yep.
And the Eagles have already scored. I walked back. I'm like, what the hell? It's 7-0 already? What happened? And then
what happened?
I saw that. So that's how quick that happened. And then that's how quick I was like, oh, this isn't going to look good.
Yeah. Nope, totally agree. Luca, anything else you want to add? Recapping that, we'll call it a football game, but it was more of just a beatdown, I think. So.
Yeah, I said last episode we needed to get to the quarterback. We needed to have some edge rushing. It wasn't there. We drafted Lucas Van Ness last year. I don't even think I saw him play at all. I don't know what that guy's doing with his life or why he's not in there at all. But we had nothing go to the quarterback. I think we finally sacked him in like the 3rd quarter, 4th quarter, or something like that. Just 0 pass rush at all. And then when we were rushing him, we made sure not to overrun him. But then when we didn't overrun him, we just sat there and watched him throw. We gave him an extra second to figure out where he was going to throw. It's like we were afraid to like get that late hit call on
Yeah.
like a roughing the passer call on him, only because we got nailed with how many penalties in the beginning of the game. The refs like just smacked us right in the face with all that stuff. So they played scared. It looked like it was not fun.
Yeah, and to your point with like rushing the passer, the one thing that I'll talk about, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit later too in our recap, though, is this was our first year under Jeff Hafley, defensive coordinator. Right, we're the youngest football team in the National Football League. We've been to the playoffs now back to back years, successful to a point last year, not so much this year. I do think we have an opportunity with Jeff Hafley once he gets some more time in the NFL as a defensive coordinator under his belt to maybe handle someone like a Jalen Hurts and someone like a Saquon, like a team that is built like that. Maybe he'll have a little bit more experience to handle that moving forward. And I'm just going to give though kudos to the Eagles, the football team, not the fans. The fans are terrible. Come at me. I know you're not all like that guy, but whatever. What I will say
They threw snowballs at Santa back in the day. Come on.
They did. But you know what? That's what Philly's known for, the city of brotherly love, right? And they just show it in a different way. No, I know not all Philadelphia fans are like that, so I'm not ripping on all of them. Just that guy being a complete yeah, we'll leave it at that. I'm not going to use those words. So you would expect someone to be a better, more decent human being. Anyway, so yeah, kudos to them, right? Like they built a good team. They have an elite offensive line: Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, Dallas Goedert. You know, it's like they have the pieces to make a really good run. Kudos to them. Packers were going to get there. All right, that's the optimist in us. That you know what, it took Aaron Rodgers 2 years of being a starter before he made a Super Bowl run. Maybe it's Jordan Love 2 years as a starter, and then he makes a Super Bowl run. We'll see. All I know is last point from me, guys. My conspiracy corners kind of took a dump on me. We were supposed to win the Super Bowl this year. Everything was laid out perfectly. History repeats itself every 14 years. And yeah, not happening this year. So
It happens. It happens.
okay. Let's put that game to bed. I think we're getting good at that at Packer fans to put bad playoff appearances, like put them in our past. We're learning to grieve quickly in a much more quicker fashion than the Dallas Cowboys fans. So moving on, let's talk about the 2024-2025 Green Bay Packers. Let's talk about the season as a whole. Billy, what are some of the things that went right for the Packers this year?
Well, to start off, I'm going to make a petition here. I'm going to ask, I really liked the Tucker Craft sneak, and I'm going to petition to call that the cheese squeeze.
Ooh, okay.
That is
That's
way
awesome.
cooler. That's way cooler than the brotherly shove or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I like that. The cheese squeeze. Okay.
So what went right? I think I might have more to say on what went wrong, but I'll say this. I think the Packers definitely have earned the respect of teams in the league, whether you like the Packers, hate them, or are neutral, whatever category you fall in. I don't think anyone looks at their schedules and says or sees that they're playing the Packers and are already looking through that to the following week. I think the Packers have earned that respect. So I think that speaks volumes to what the organization has built and what can hopefully keep building on. I think we have a lot of young talent. And I think we might be a little deep at wide receiver. When you look at the roster, Love spread the ball around a lot. I feel like some of the receivers stepped up. I think they've made some mistakes, but that's why I think they'll grow.
Sure.
Josh Jacobs dominated, and I'm looking forward to seeing him repeat that success next year. And you know what? We upgraded that kicker, so Packers have that going for them.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, we don't have a kicker problem.
But you know what? I will say that was a stacked NFC North.
Yes,
and still made the playoffs. Not bad for the youngest team in the league. So a lot to build on.
I will say to your point, that stacked NFC North was the Minnesota Vikings becoming the first 14-3 team to lose in the wild card round. So if you're going to Viking hard, I guess. Okay, Luca. Luca, what did you think went well for this 2024 Packers football season?
I got key notable players. One rookie that we drafted this year, Edgerrin Cooper.
Okay.
14 games. He had a pick. He had a forced fumble, 2 fumble recoveries, 3.5 sacks. He led the team in tackles for loss with 13. The guy who only played the 14 games, who would have thought that with
Yeah.
this late round guy would blow up as hard as he did? And we're linebacker central. Somehow we're good at drafting them mid rounds, and they show up. I absolutely loved what he did this year. I'm excited to see what he does next year. He had back to back weeks where he was defensive player of the week, I believe, too, this year.
Yeah, I think so. I'd have to double check. I think so.
Yeah, I could have swore I saw that. So great stuff there. Yeah, our 2 free agents, Xavier McKinney and Jacobs. You could not expect any more from them. I'm
Yeah.
all in on Josh Jacobs. What an amazing year. I do believe his 15 touchdowns passed Paul Horning, I believe.
Yes.
So broke his Packers record in his first year with us. So sky's the limit with him. I wanted to dog our offensive line, but they were 9th overall, which is pretty solid. They're 8th against the blitz, where they were not good. We'll talk about later. But they were good overall. Nixon, I want to dog him, but he plays every game. So if he wants to be a cornerback 1, great. I like what he's doing. Lots of good takeaways. And you know what? To start off the offseason, one other hot take, we got $51 million in cap space. So we do, like you said, we're not hurting for cap money. We can do some things. I'm excited.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And what I will say, I'll add on to your point real quick about Keyshawn Nixon being a CB1. He's obviously shown he can't hold on to a football, so he's going to be a great defender because they don't actually have to catch it. So
Just swat it down.
yeah, just no, don't want it. Get it out of here, right?
Mhm.
So obviously that's what he does really, really well. So we'll see what happens. One of the things that I'll talk about going well, obviously, I do agree. Edgerrin Cooper, Evan Anderson, or was that his last name? The safety.
Yeah, Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson. I think this was so. He came in and played really, really well. Javon Bullard, he took him a little bit. Eric Stokes started coming in at the end of the year. Obviously, he's not a rookie, but hopefully seeing him come back. Another guy, not a rookie, but under the radar player is that Carrington Valentine. Until last week, he had not given up a touchdown to a wide receiver 1 that he was covering this year. So a lot of good things coming from him, especially in Jair's absence. So I think you're seeing some of these guys step up a little bit, and you're starting to see a little bit of the Packers' future strongholds coming together. Other than that, I mean, obviously we had 11 wins. That was good. We beat a lot of the normal teams we should beat. We showed some perseverance, some late game wins. Obviously, we have a kicker now with Brandon McManus. So I think this year was a year about growth, and I think you're going to see some of that translate into next year. Hopefully, it was a sophomore. I'm going to call it a sophomore slump for Jordan Love, even though it was year 4 or 5. Hopefully a sophomore slump in starting, and that he can catch on to some of the things that he may have missed out on this year. So that's what I have for some positives for the takeaway for this year. Oh, big one, big fan of is the icy whites, right? The winter storm warning uniforms, the white lids, everything. The only thing they could do better is put a yellow stripe instead of just because that way it matches the pants and the jerseys. Yellow stripe on the white lid. Oh, that would be an amazing thing.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Yeah, that was a great
that
look.
was also a very good positive. Okay, transitioning now to the thing I think we're ready to talk about because we're ready to rip on these guys a little bit because that's the hurt we feel, right? Our heart is breaking, so we're gonna come after these guys a little bit. Billy, what didn't go right this year for the Packers?
Well, the Packers finished the regular season at 11-6, and now you normally would think, wow, okay, 11 wins, that's respectable. But I think it's a misleading 11-win team. As a Packers fan, it's hard to say because, of course, as Packers fans, we always have high expectations.
Yeah.
Let's call it what it is. We are slightly delusional. We think every year is our year. We think we're Super Bowl contenders every year, and that's awesome. It's awesome to have those high hopes because other teams have hopes of just making it to 500 or having a winning record but no playoffs and consider that a success. So as proud of fans we are, we have to face reality, which is the Packers went 1-5 in their division. Let's be honest with ourselves. Again, should have been 0-6. They were
Yeah.
one lucky blocked field goal away from being swept by their entire division.
You're absolutely right.
And I'll say there were some impressive wins though against teams that when you look at the schedule at the beginning of the year, you think to yourself like it can go either way. Like, oh, that could be a loss, or I'm not going to be surprised if the Packers lose that game, like the Dolphins, Seahawks, 49ers. So there's a glimmer of hope. There's games where they didn't lose by much, like the 2nd game against the Lions, they only lost by 3. That gives us more hope that we can hang with powerhouse teams. But dude, Jordan Love had just such an extremely underwhelming year, in my opinion. There are injuries, yeah, but he just underperformed. He can't lead receivers. He underthrows receivers. He throws in double or triple coverage, and he has that gunslinger mentality, which can be fun. But I just think he's just way too inexperienced yet. I've said it before. He has not lived up to his $55 million a year contract, and I'm just gonna say he's a poor man's Baker Mayfield.
Ooh, that is a hot take. Hot take right there, and I am here for it. Nice job.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
Daggers. Okay.
All right. Anything else? Anything you want to add before we move on?
No, that felt good.
Absolutely helps.
That felt good.
All right. Your therapy session, Luca. What didn't go right this year for the Green Bay Packers?
All right. So we all want to rag on Jordan Love for questionable play situations, as we would call it. I'm going to put that on the offensive line because when there's not blitzing and obvious coverage coming at them, they're 23rd in the league against any wide receiver play calls. So any passing play calls, 23rd. That's why you saw Jordan Love having to scramble so much. If there's some type of movement or some type of formation, they just couldn't figure it out. We had no defensive edge. If Rashawn Gary is our guy, 7.5 sacks is not it. You had Lucas Van Ness. He went backwards this year. He had 4 sacks last year. He had 3 this year. He's not it either. And that's another first-round pick. It's like, Dan, just listen to me with your first-round pick and let me pick your guy. And you can have all the rest because I've been right year over year over year. And don't get me started on Kevin King again already. We should have had TJ freaking Watt. We shouldn't have traded back for Kevin King, who's got me blocked on all social medias, thank goodness. But it's okay. I get to go see him flip burgers at Burger King. It's cool. He's chill. I think Jair and his horrible attitude can go bye-bye. Yeah, it's going to be an $18 million hit on us, right? But we're going to save almost $7 million that we could use to, I don't know, maybe sign like a mid-level guy who can at least play every day. That's why I don't want to be talking trash about Keyshawn Nixon. He's a very good player where he puts his heart out on his sleeve, but he plays every freaking game. Every freaking game. Yeah, he only has 1 interception for his career, but he plays. He's out there. That's why I'm not high on Stokes. You were saying Stokes, he's going to be a free agent this year. If we sign him, it better be to a cheap deal, a really cheap deal. We need cornerback help. I don't think Jair, you just got to go. I mean, unless you're going to be healthy and you're not going to be toxic, you can go. And that's my feels for the team. I got that out really quick. That was a quick rant. I feel so much better.
Are you feeling better?
Yeah. Oh, well, I'll say one other thing. I don't think we have a true number 1 wide receiver.
No,
Yeah.
we don't. I agree.
No, we need one. We need
Who's it
one.
going to be?
We'll talk about that in the next part of this.
Okay.
I got some stuff for us.
Okay, perfect. I hope you feel better.
So much better.
A couple of things I wanted to add to some of your points with the offensive line. Zach Tom is probably going to be he wasn't an all-pro, but he was playing at an all-pro level. Josh Myers is a Pro Bowler. He plays at Elgin Jenkins is a Pro Bowler. Just had a difficult season, I will say. And I think that's going to lead into some of the things that I feel went wrong. Football, all right, this is coming from I used to play in high school. That doesn't matter now. but just knowing what I know about being a coach, it all starts at the offensive line and the defensive line. I've always said that any elite offensive line will make a mediocre quarterback into a Pro Bowler. An elite defensive line will make any elite quarterback into a moderate quarterback, right? Like, so it always starts up front. And that, I believe, is where we struggled this year. We didn't have the best offensive line play, although it wasn't the worst. But when you look at the defensive line, we had a lot of first rounders in there, and they did not produce, right? You had Lucas Van Ness. You had
Wyatt did good. Wyatt did good for being a first rounder.
When he was injured a little bit this year too. So
True.
we didn't have, him all the time. We have a ton of first rounders on that offense or on that defensive line. Van Ness,
we do.
Gary White, right? Some of these guys are in there. So I think that's where we need to develop a little bit more depth. Okay, so there's that. Number 2, I am gonna dump on Jordan Love here a little bit. A lot of my things are along with what Billy said, right? But the biggest thing I see from him in the regression, saw this a little bit last year too, though, was the fact that he is unable to process the blitz. And on top of that, he's sitting in shotgun, and then he still takes a 7-step drop, right? A lot of this is, yes, to allow your receivers to get where they need to go, but that's also to provide you more time to do your reads. But if he's taking a 7-step drop on a shotgun, he's not making his reads as fast as he can be. And then they're going to blitz, and he's not making his reads off the blitz either. So he cannot handle pressure or the blitz. He cannot lead his receivers. He throws them to double and triple coverage. He murders his wide receivers. Also another reason we don't have a wide receiver 1. Okay, so these are all things that Jordan Love. And Jordan, if you do somehow hear this, please know I want you to be better than Aaron Rodgers. I want you to be better than Brett Favre, okay? I wish nothing but the best for you. But you gotta get to that point in your life where you are ready to step up and be that guy. Okay. So Jordan, just know I want the best for you. And deep down in my heart, I want you to be better than Aaron. And Aaron was my guy. Right. He was one of the best football players I've ever seen. So I want you to be better than him. But what we're seeing right now, prove me wrong. Please. I want to be proven wrong here. And then last note, last couple seconds here. Matt LaFleur needs to do like a self-audit on himself, a self-awareness audit, and realize that, you know what, maybe you're losing this locker room a little bit. Maybe you're in over your head on some of these things. A lot of the time management issues we had, we lost guys, wasn't in it. Do a self-awareness audit on yourself. Something needs to change. Whew. I'm out of breath. I'm fat. You got to give me a second. My heart still breaks for the Packers this year. I was hoping for every 14 years a Super Bowl, but you know what? Maybe it means more being Super Bowl 60 and 60 years since we won the very first Super Bowl. Maybe that means more. But okay. Great points. Thank you, everybody. You guys all win around the horn.
Yes.
We are going to actually move into. I'm really excited about this part. I think you guys got some great ones. I'm super excited to hear it. Billy, what do you feel, or what are you most excited for coming up this offseason, whether it be free agency or the draft? What do you think the Packers can do to get better?
I'm excited for free agency, and I think the Packers need to be aggressive in free agency. This whole draft and develop thing is great. It's worked well. But I feel like some Packers fans, and maybe myself too, we're just running out of patience, and we're not patient anymore to wait for these young players to get experience and grow. And I feel like when that happens, they become great, like wide receivers, and they end up leaving. I think we need to get some big name players that will make an impact now while you have this youth. And just look at when the Packers got Charles Woodson, and with this season with Josh Jacobs, I feel like there's an immediate impact just from those two. And my take, I think the Packers should go after T. Higgins.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. That's a
Playing-
splash.
He's playing on a franchise tag this year. I don't think he'll get tagged for a second year in a row. And regardless, I think he's going to land somewhere and sign a deal. I guess the question is, maybe you guys can help me out with this, but can the Packers afford him? I'm not sure. I have also read that rumor too that Devontae Adams is open to a return to Green Bay. I mean, geez, could you imagine that? I mean, that would be awesome. But The Packers just need to make a splash and just do something while they have that youth. So I'm looking forward to seeing if they can be a little bit more aggressive.
Love it. I love, and I'm hopeful. All the things that you have listed, I am hopeful that we can make something there happen. Luca, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to, whether it be the draft, free agency? What can the Packers do to get better?
All right. Now give me the next like hour of your time. Here we go. Key
Yes.
guys that we need to re-sign.
Okay,
I
here we
would
go.
like to see Josh Myers back. I would like to see Eric Wilson back. Dan Whelan and Brandon McManus. Sorry about that. Both those guys are free agents. Those are the four I would like to bring back. All the rest of them are just role players. If they come back, great. If they don't, whatever. They're fill spots.
Okay.
If we're going into the draft, my top guys who I'm looking at for the draft, I'm looking at Benjamin Morrison from Notre Dame, cornerback. Watch him this next game. Watch how he plays. I think he there's a chance he might fall to us. That or the guy who's right behind him. I can't pronounce his first name. My apologies. But Barron from Texas, another good cornerback. He played really good defense against ASU. I didn't get to see him too much in the game afterwards, but he's another good one. If we're looking to draft a wide receiver in the first round, actually, no, not first round, second round. I think he's going to
That's a
fall in the
Packers
draft. Yeah, I think this guy's going to fall to the second round to Green Bay. Isaiah Bond from Texas. I think he's another good stud. We need a deep threat that can actually stay healthy. Sorry, Christian Watson. I absolutely love you, but man, tough break after tough break after tough break every single year. So I think Isaiah Bond falls to us in the second round. As far as free agents, Billy, you said it best. With Woodson, we need a guy who can come in and do something like that. I also thought of Julius Peppers, guys who can come off the edge there. I'm thinking maybe you look at a 33-year-old Matt Judon or maybe a 34-year-old Khalil Mack.
Oh, okay.
How about
Khalil
having
Mack,
him back?
bringing him?
Maybe
Who was the
him
first guy you said? Who was the first guy you said?
Matt Judon.
Who's that?
He plays for Atlanta right now. He was really, really good with New England, and he was a big part of that. He ticked off some people in New England, got traded for like a 7th round pick to Cleveland, just to show
Okay.
you don't matter. And then they went out and won the Super Bowl again without him.
Oh, dang. That
Yeah,
stinks.
that was that guy.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
He's a stud. He's really good. I like
Yeah.
him.
Cool.
I think he's cleaned up. He's matured. He would be a guy that comes in and he does some things. If we don't, I mean, what dream of having having Devontae back? But if not, if we're looking for a mid-level guy, the last guy I'm going to say, Marquise Brown. We need speed. We need somebody who can just sprint down that field and has decent hands. You
So
get
Love
him
can
on one of
underthrow
your-
him.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. I'm coming in
Oh,
spicy
man.
today, bro. All right. My bad. Go ahead.
No, just throw those cross routes. Just Love. You can just air it out with this guy. Just throw it as far as you freaking can, and he's got that speed. So
Hey,
that's what I'm
that's
looking
fair.
at.
Okay. I love, I mean, like I said, I hope, Billy, all the stuff you had put there comes true. Luke, I hope a lot of the stuff that you said comes true. The couple things that I'll add that I would like to see, whether it be through the draft or free agency, I'm in knowing the youth movement that we have on this team right now, knowing the draft capital that we normally have. We're going to get some draft capital because I think we're going to move on from Jair, right? Like, get some more of that draft capital. And in return, go get a Max Crosby. Go get a guy that's got the motor, that's going to give you the depth on the defensive edge that you can. The offensive line, you're going to get Jordan Morgan back, and maybe he'll have the offseason to develop into the guy they thought he was when we drafted him in the first round. He's out this year with a shoulder injury. The rest of the year, that's why we didn't see him in the playoff game, and that's why we had those two guys that were just could do nothing but hold somebody. So Max Crosby is probably number one. Offensive line will have addressed. We'll probably use a middle round pick on another offensive lineman. We normally do. Also, free agency, I do really like the idea of Devontae coming back, and this being the reasons why. Devontae has the ability to get open, right? Like he's probably the best route runner I may have seen since a Jerry Rice. So he has the ability to get open. And I think right now that's what Jordan needs. Jordan Love needs somebody who can get open, will not have that double team coverage on him. I mean, he'll still be doubled, but he'll be getting open at that point. So I really like Devontae for that reason. T. Higgins, a great person or a great player, but I don't think we're going to see him as much as I would like to as well. But if you can at least go get Devontae. And then finally, I'm also thinking a cornerback in round 1. I do like the kid from Notre Dame. I think he would also be a good fit. Like I said, I think we're going to be moving on from Jair. Keyshawn Nixon, as much, Luca, as you like him, he's not a CB1. He's a CB2, maybe.
Yeah, he's
maybe.
a CB2. I agree.
Maybe a nickel guy. We'll see. But again, he's great at letting go of the ball, so he'll knock it down, blah, blah, blah. He didn't want it. But that's kind of what I'm hoping for is a Max Crosby, a Devontae Adams, strengthen up your line over the offseason as best you can. And then let's see what happens. Matt LaFleur comes in with a fresh outlook, and we make it happen, right? Now it's the third year. We have experience even more. We're probably not the youngest team in the league anymore. And 2 years in the playoffs, let's make it 3. So that's what I would love to see happen. Plus, having them put the yellow stripe in the middle of their helmet. Green Bay Packers, I know you hear me. I know you know this is going to happen, okay? Put the yellow stripe on and make it legit, please. All right, fellas, what final thoughts do you have in recapping this 2024-2025 Green Bay Packers season? What should we know going forward about this Packers season? Billy, I'm going to start with you.
Man, that's a tough question. All jokes aside about everything, it was still a good season. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it's a lot to build on, like we said. It was fun. It's always fun watching Packers football.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just, I don't really have much more to say about it except just, I'm just looking forward to next season. Let's see what happens and let's just go from there. I don't know. I was kind of spent on everything.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. Luca, final thoughts. What do we need to know?
I'm going to put my couch GM hat on and show how much better first round drafting I am than Dan Gunthurst, or however you pronounce his
Oh, that
last
wasn't
name.
even close. It's Brian.
Whatever. I really
Brian
just don't care.
Gutekunst.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I just don't care about the guy at all. Until
All
you
right,
can
so
draft a first round guy.
Here's what all right, this is where I'm going to come at you a little bit.
All right.
You can come after Brian Gutekunst. That's fine. But now you got to let me come after Jordan Love.
Oh, you have been.
I know, but I'll defend Gutekunst.
Okay.
He's actually not as bad as I thought he would be. So
He's not that bad. He just sucks at first round. That's all. So this is where my rant is. All right. I really wanted Cooper DeJean. He fell back to the second round and then got drafted right before we could grab him in the second round. In the consensus redraft rankings, he would have been 22nd overall. He played 16 games. He started 9 of them, 6 pass defenses. He had 1 forced fumble, 3 fumble recoveries, a half sack, 51 tackles, and 3 tackles for a loss. So the guy had some good stats. The thing was, he stayed healthy. He was on the field. He's a good positive presence for that team. What they have for the Packers redraft for where they actually did draft, they had Dominic Punny, who went to San Francisco in the 3rd round, 86 overall. Congrats to you, Dominic. You had an amazing season. You fell back there in the draft and you really showed up. So that's really cool when you see guys fall back in the draft and then it shows that they should have been a first rounder. They should have gotten paid a little bit more. So I hope, Dominic, you have a great career with San Francisco, just not against the Packers, of course. That's
probably will. Okay. No, hey, you're absolutely on to something there. We have had some issues with our first round picks. Some have been a hit, some have been a miss. So totally see where you're coming from. So last note for me, I just want to bring this to light real quick. The Green Bay Packers ranked 3rd in the NFL in overall offense. The Green Bay Packers ranked 5th in the NFL for overall defense. These are the types of rankings that lead to Super Bowl appearances. The fact that we somehow ranked there and lost in the wild card is uber disappointing. Obviously, I'm not coaching, I'm not playing, and I know they all put, that's not a question of whether they worked hard for not. That's not it. I know they did, right? It's just disappointing to see a team that's top 5 offense and defense, and they weren't able to make it. Yards per game, 5th overall. Rushing yards per game total, 5th overall. Defense. Now here's where Jeff Halfley came in and was just amazing. Defensive yards per game up to 5th overall at 314.5. Third down percentage, we were 15th overall. I just the how we got better and we're 5th in defense overall. That's a top 10 defense. The Packers have a top 10 defense in the NFL, top 5, and we didn't make it happen. So bumming out on that. Final thought is this kind of is a year of, we'll call it disappointment, a year of learning, a year of opportunity. And again, as Packer fans, I think we all do know that we are spoiled to a point. And that's okay because we're not Vikings fans. We're not Bears fans and we're not Cowboys fans. So I'll call that a win, right? Like I'm past the Bears fan thing. It's whatever, but, okay. So great recap, guys. A lot of things to be excited for, I feel. So we're going to finish this week off with a specific Packers trivia. Here we go, Luca. You ready? What's this? What are we at? 13-9, playing up to 14. Let's get it.
No, we're definitely not playing up to 14. That's some trash. No, we're sticking with that 50.
All right. Okay. Here we go.
Because I was going to say 50-piece McNugget.
Ooh, that sounds good.
I'll go for one.
Yeah.
So, all right. Yep. 13-9, like T West said. So I don't think I need to ask, but I will. T West, what are you going to do?
Let's go, baby.
All right. Let's see. Super Bowl 31 featured the Green Bay Packers versus the New England Patriots. On the Packers' first drive, Brett Favre threw a 54-yard touchdown to which wide receiver?
Bennett, the lone setback. 2 tight ends set up for the Packers, and Favre back to throw his first one. Going deep, has a man open.
Andre Rison.
Correct.
That was a good one. Damn.
was a good
See,
one.
I tell you, he gets these layup questions. All right.
I'm just no.
All right. No. You're good. Yeah, you're Packers trivia. I can't.
I've been looking forward to this trivia. I'll just say that. So
Yeah, it's a good one. Luca, you ready?
Maybe. Let's find out.
How much did the original cheesehead cost? Now, this is a price range.
I just saw this too, and I think he sold the first one for like $5 or $8.
Is that your guess?
No. It was 15. It was $15.
That's correct. The range was 15.
Sorry, I had to think it out loud.
The range
just
was
saw this on
$15
TV.
to $20. Nice job.
That was actually a really cool piece to see, though, too, and how this guy did that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. T West. Who did Brett Favre complete his first pass to?
Oh, come
on. So Brett Favre completed his first pass to Brett Favre.
Correct. Ooh, this is a nail biter.
This is fun, but damn, you got the easy ones.
I'm not gonna lie, I had no idea about the cheesehead thing. I would have gotten that wrong. I would have gone $8 because I don't know.
This next one I'm kind of excited for. Luca.
Oh.
What division did the Packers belong to before the restructure, which is now called the NFC North?
Oh, man. I do. I'm trying to think because the Buccaneers were in the division.
Mm-hmm.
Was it the NFC? The NFC West?
Nope.
Fuck. I switched it up last second.
T West.
Okay, so the Packers were before the realignment with the Buccaneers. They were in the NFC Central.
That is correct.
Oh, that's
And
what it was because there's 3 of them. Damn it.
you guys, we have a problem.
Uh-oh.
Question number 5 is what teams were in that division? You guys both already said the answer.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So I kind of want to give you both a point for that one because you both said it very casual. The question was, what teams were in that division? Packers, Vikings, Lions, Bears, Buccaneers. Is
Yeah.
the answer. So,
I mean, if you want, we can allow you to quick also look up another question.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that as we chat. So
okay.
let me just get rid of that one.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
Who's up? Who's up?
Did I steal that one from Luca?
That was a Luke. Yeah, so he stole it from Luca. So T West.
Yep.
I'm going to give you this question. Who was the Packers coach that led the team to 5 consecutive winning seasons between 2000 and 2005?
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Okay, because this is an easy one, Luca. I'm going to let you have this, if that's within the rules. Because he thinks I get all
whatever you want.
All right, Luca, you can have this one out of the goodness of my heart.
All right, Mike Sherman.
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
I'll give him that one.
Thank you. I appreciate your humble giving through the holiday seasons.
You know what that's like? That's like the older brother letting the little brother come and tag along. Like, yeah, okay, come tag along.
I almost spit up my beer.
All right, you guys chit chat for a minute. I'm going to look for another question since you guys fucking ruined it.
Okay. So
how about you not give this guy a layup? How about that?
All right.
Don't be like, who's the all-time Green Bay Packers leading rusher?
What's the logo?
Do you know who that is, Luca?
I almost picked that question. What is that one? You get no points for it, but what is that
It's
one?
Amon Green.
Yeah. Okay, good thing I didn't add that one.
Okay.
Now,
West.
if you could say like what car he drove.
T-West, here's your question. What is the letter on the Packers helmet?
I love it.
All right.
Is
You guys talk.
Is it a P for Packer?
You guys talk for a minute.
Okay, so I kind of want to jump into this last question because you talked about Mike Sherman. The Packers have a thing for the letter M in head coaches, right? Like Mike Holmgren, Mike Sherman, Mike McCarthy, Matt LaFleur. Like we have a thing for a letter M. So, but okay, Luca, who is your all-time favorite? Oh, no, I'm not even going to do that. Who was better? A better head coach, Mike Holmgren or Mike McCarthy?
Ooh. I'm going to go Holmgren.
Holmgren? Okay, why?
Yeah. He's been to multiple Super Bowls with multiple teams. Just the way he held the locker room growing up, I never saw anybody really step out. And if they did, he had that like that dad voice, that dad talk to you, where he'd come up to you. Man, I think the power was in the mustache too, where he'd come up to you and he'd be like, "Hey, look, man, being kind of like a dickhead, how about you stop?" And because I remember after Hasselbeck said, "We're going to take this to score," and he pulled him off to the side. He's like, "Why? Why did you do that?" And they just had this like dad talk, it looked like. And he was just there. I mean, McCarthy, yeah, he took us to a Super Bowl, great guy. But we had so young of talent and so underrated. And you had Aaron Rodgers very young with that much talent with Jordy Nelson. I mean, shoot, how did you not win more Super Bowls?
That's a great point. How did we not win more?
Yeah.
See, I always personally hold it against Mike Holmgren for leaving.
Yeah.
Because he was only there from 92 to 98, right? It was only 6 years as our head coach. McCarthy was longer, so he had more longevity, but he also saw the ups and the downs and was eventually fired. And you're right, only one Super Bowl for McCarthy where you had one win for Holmgren, but he took us to 2. He did take Seattle to a Super Bowl as well. Did not win that one either. But I remind myself that Holmgren did leave to be a GM as well. So he wanted that as well. So I give him that. So I do also go Holmgren.
Cool.
All right. You ready for us, Billy?
Think I am.
All right.
All right, US. From 1961 to 1967, the Packers won how many consecutive playoff games, which is the longest streak in franchise history?
Wow, that's a good one.
You told me look for a hard one.
Yeah, that was a
do.
really good one. T. West,
is-
you get this. It should be worth 2.
You really want to keep digging
So-
yourself in that hole?
How many consecutive playoff victories?
Yes. And it's the longest in franchise history, and it was between the years 1961 and 1967.
I think I'm
12?
this.
It is not 12. Luca,
Okay.
you might as well just close your eyes, throw a dart, and just try to get something.
9.
Holy shit.
Are you serious?
It's 9. It is 9.
Dang, dude. All
Yeah, right when you said 12, and then Billy, you didn't say, "Oh, you're so close," because originally I was thinking 11. I was like, "No, it's 9."
Okay.
I was bouncing between the two.
Okay.
All right.
well,
That was a great question. And yeah, you got me.
congratulations. Okay, so where are we at so far? So we got
Now we need the bonus question. We both
Yep,
have
so-
3 points each.
episode 16. It's currently 16 to 12.
Bonus question.
Okay, so we don't screw this up. Bonus question. Now, is this going to be the first person to blurt it out? You want to type? What do you want to do?
Blurt it out.
Blurt it out just right away.
As soon as you know, blurt it out.
All right, you guys ready?
Mhm. Do we both
What
get
is-
the points then?
I think it's if it's simultaneous, like simultaneous possession between the Seahawks and the Packers. Yeah, then we both get it.
Okay.
Fair enough. Ready? What is the Green Bay Packers mascot?
They don't have one.
God damn it, Luca.
Damn, he was so quick with that. I was like, we don't have one. Trick question.
That was a trick question. Well, it is 18 to 12.
Damn.
Ooh.
I wish we could have
Honor.
typed that out. Wish we could have typed that out. I think that's the way it needs to go from now on. Type it out. This guy just can't type. Neither could I on the one. So
Blurt it out, man. If you know, blurt it out.
you're quicker than I was. If we had those little like Jeopardy things, you're hitting that buzzer quicker than I am.
That's a part of it, isn't it? Right? Like,
Yeah, I guess so.
okay.
You said he's what?
He's quick. If we were on Jeopardy, he would have hit that buzzer right away.
That
All
is
right.
what she said.
I am quick. One, you're not wrong. Okay, but 2, we don't need to shit. This was an episode, guys. This was a fun
Yeah, it
episode.
was.
I absolutely love talking about Green Bay Packers. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I'm a big Packers fan. But anyway, I think it was well worth it. I think us as fans, we needed to be able to talk about some of the things that we were thinking for the Packers. So thank you for holding it in a couple extra days for me so we could talk about this. This was, again, a great episode. Packers season recap. What went right? What went wrong? What are we planning for? What are we hoping for the future? Whether it's the draft, whether it's free agency, what are we looking for? Guys, thank you very much. I appreciate it. This was good.
Mm-hmm.
Looking
And if
forward to
anybody from Green Bay sees this podcast, just know we love each and every single player on the team. We don't wish anything bad for even the worst player on the team or to even the mouthiest person on the team. We want you all to stay. We want you all to, yes. We want you to all be Packers for life. Yeah.
I can agree with Luca there. Just again, thanks for like devoting yourselves to your jobs so that we can enjoy the things that you guys do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will say a Midwestern goodbye. Say hi to your folks for us. All right, everybody. Peace. This is it for episode 5, Packers season recap. We will see you guys later.
Great talking with you guys.
Oh, there it is.
Jesus, man. You got no manners.
Leading 10-7, bases loaded, 2 down, and Rick Vaughn has come on to try and nail it down against Felipe Aguilar, a dangerous right-handed batter. Here's the pitch. Oh, shit.
Lined up in his first offering. Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed. Ball 4. Ball 8. Low, and Vaughn has walked the bases loaded on 12 straight pitches. Boy, how can these guys lay off pitches that close?